California, the Kern River oil field, a black underground pool that contains more than 500 million barrels of oil, enough to fuel America for 4 weeks. 1 minute from now, it's all going to disappear. Around the world, the same thing will happen. From Saudi Arabia to the North Sea to the massive tar sands of Alberta, Canada. All the oil that drives our cars, flies our planes, powers our factories, even the oil below the ground, is about to vanish. Deep underground, the first ominous signal appears.
There's something going on. I gotta go. Yeah, going on.
We've already taken more than 1 trillion barrels of oil from the Earth.
Still nothing.
Another 1 trillion should be left.
What's going on?
I have no idea what's going on.
Yesterday, this refinery processed 300,000 barrels of oil. But today, there's nothing. It's a crisis some predicted. Now, it's reality. And the world must react.
Of 1 trillion barrels of accessible untapped oil, but scientists are now confirming that it's all gone.
Around the world, from Saudi Arabia to Alaska, the oil below the ground has disappeared. Oil companies say as much as 20 million barrels is left at their refineries, but
companies say it's not just our supply of gas, but diesel fuel, lubricants, asphalt, tar. All of the products that are made from oil will be severely affected if we can't find more oil.
Thousands of tankers carrying millions of barrels of oil are on the move. But exporting countries, like Russia and Saudi Arabia, now order the boats back home. To the U.S., it's a huge blow. It imports more oil than any other country in the world. Every day, the U.S. produces over 8 million barrels of oil, but it consumes more than twice that amount. Now, we're 8 million barrels short and growing.
There are reports of long lines at gas stations as people try to stock up. Expect 2 to 3 hour delays.
Americans race to fill up their cars, maybe for the last time. In 1973, the oil embargo caused some American stations to run out of gas. But this situation is far worse. Over 100,000 gas stations across the country are being pumped dry. And it's happening all over the world. Gas prices skyrocket out of control. Many countries have oil in reserve. The U.S. has 725 million barrels of crude oil hidden away. To protect what little is left, the government takes dramatic steps. Planes, trains, boats, all but the most vital transportation is shut down. Roads are quiet. Tracks are empty. Flights are grounded. The 4 million people flying today are now stranded. And so are hundreds of thousands of tons of cargo. Airports are chaotic. The economic fallout is swift. Panic forces the government to halt stock trading, just like after 9/11. $2 trillion of oil stock is now worthless. More than 400,000 people working in the U.S. oil industry are suddenly out of a job.
Going up to Mexico? Sure. All right.
They try to get home
All right, let's move.
any way they can. Facing uncertainty about the future, thousands of manufacturing plants close immediately. Millions more lose their jobs. Oil is one of the most powerful, versatile fuels on the planet. It's made from dead plants and animals that are compressed and heated over hundreds of millions of years. It's in everything from toothpaste to lipstick, polyester to plastics. Now, it's all gone. An enormous chain reaction has been set in motion.
What's your name? Need a bed in here, Stat. Let's get him on the...
Crippling every part of our lives.
Let's go.
Our hospitals, our food, our power, and the crisis is just beginning.
Martial law has been declared. The National Guard is now patrolling downtown Washington and Los Angeles.
EU leaders in Strasbourg are sending 100 million barrels of oil to England.
Stock markets from Tokyo to New York remain closed. Unemployment is over 30%.
It's been just 5 days since the world ran out of oil. And the most basic human needs are suddenly out of reach. Food terminals across North America are closed. In California, each day, 1,300 trucks used to leave the state carrying fresh fruits and vegetables to deliver to grocery store shelves across the country. Now, the trucks sit idle, and groceries aren't being delivered. New York and other big cities are hit hardest. It takes on average about 1 football field of farmland to raise enough food for just one person for 1 year. Without oil-fueled transportation, it's nearly impossible to feed a city of millions. A quick trip to the grocery now takes hours. Armed guards are posted at every store. Before the crisis, 30% of fresh fruits and vegetables didn't make it onto shelves because of small imperfections. Now, everything is up for grabs. Almost a quarter of our produce comes from other countries. But that won't last. Food is disappearing quickly. Farms have too many mouths to feed. An adult cow eats 100 pounds of feed a day. A pig needs 8 pounds. In an ironic twist, animals once raised for food are now facing starvation. The fragile power system is falling into darkness. % of the world's electricity comes from coal-burning power plants. This plant in England burns coal that comes from as far away as the US. All of it arrives here by train. Each car carries enough coal to power a small town for a day. But without oil, the trains are no longer running. Blackouts spread across North America. Florida is hit hard. It relies heavily on electricity generated directly from burning oil. Its big city hospitals are equipped with emergency backup generators, but even they run on diesel fuel. A Miami hospital is on its last tank of diesel. There's only enough to last 8 more hours. In San Francisco, law and order is breaking down. Under the cover of darkness, looters begin their work. People are desperate. And they're not just looking for food.
Grease. Diesel. Yeah, we can use this.
Diesel engines can run on cooking oil, new or used.
This is what we need.
An average car needs around 10 gallons of gas to travel 300 miles.
Liquid gold.
Diesel engines are 30% more efficient. As long as there's enough cooking oil to go around, this truck and any other diesel-powered vehicle can stay on the road.
Okay, I think we're almost.
Has taken control of the airports and rail lines. Rationing of fuel for emergency food shipments will begin soon in the hardest hit areas.
The White House is warning that the oil reserves are down to just